Good morning, small players, and happy Monday. Today is May 16th, so we're halfway through the month already. Sometimes, we do these streams every day, and it's just a reminder of how fast the time goes by. So, if you're someone that's still trading on paper and you are, approaching that 6 month mark, it's a good time to check in with your strategy, see if it works consistently, see if it allows you to be consistently profitable. And if not, 6 months is the minimum to practice with fake money. But in no way, shape, or form is it the maximum. So, absolutely, if you are still not there with your strategy, take all the time you need with paper. The market is not going anywhere. We have these stocks pop up every single day for years and years and years. So, if you get in it too fast, too quickly, too early, you'll end up losing all your money before you learn, and then you won't have money to actually participate in the market. Um, and anyway, that being said, also, if you're have been paper trading for a few months, make sure that as you're approaching the 6 month mark, you start switching the dollar amount you're practicing with. So even though in paper trading you have a lot of money, when you first start trading, you're probably not going to be trading with that much money. So start only using the amount of money that you would be using once you start trading real money, and see how that works out, because the money takes 2 days to clear after you've taken trades, after you've made profits, etc. And see if that works with your position sizing, um, and whether it's what you expect it's going to be. That's one of the things that sometimes people forget to do when they paper trade. They think they have this unlimited money, and then once they start trading with real money, they use up all their available money on the first day, and then because they don't have margin, they don't have money to trade with. Um, so that's, managing the capital is a very big thing as a beginner, because first of all, you don't want to deploy all of your available capital day trading because you're still a beginner, you're still learning. Um, so, you know, you have limited money, and you need to manage that money in terms of what trades you choose to take and what trades you choose to sit down on, because they don't seem that great, and you would rather keep your capital for something that's more of a textbook trade for you. Okay, so the first stock on the scanner is PIXY. Actually, as we were talking, it disappeared from the scanner because it's slowing down volume, so it no longer fulfills the scanner criteria. But I'm gonna add it on the watch list because it has a lot of volume on the day, and certainly if it starts slicing through resistances, it can uh, be picked up back on the pre-market scanner, or if it does it during market hours on the momentum scanner. Okay, so for this, I would just send alert for break above VWAP. And then, that's a nice risk reward for a trade to here, here, here. Maybe, we'll have to maybe take profits here as well. And maybe here, depending on how it moves when it starts breaking above it. I don't want to overcrowd the chart with too many lines, but break above VWAP is definitely an entry trigger for me on this stock. I'm not interested in any of these other levels for a bounce. It looks like it try to do a double top here. It has another level here. I don't love bounces below EMA 20. DTST is a stock that was probably the most obvious this morning in the pre-market session. It was hovering around VWAP many, many times, so it provided many, many VWAP breaks. Right now, it's this previous high of there of 340 is really causing trouble. So it looks like it might need another drop to VWAP. So we can take that. Other than that, as we see, it has had some 5-minute flag breaks. Each one of them has been successful, even though some less than others. Neither one of them has been a failure. So it's also making a 5-minute flag now. So that's another trade that we can consider, that flag break, DTST. And then we have AGRI. Oh, this one is just trying to break VWAP now, but it seems like it's rejecting it. What is the double top there? 208. So to be safer, we can trade a break above. Well, actually, this has a lot of lines here. I was going to say break above 210, but maybe break above 215 is a little safer. and then we can use VWAP as a stop. So let's set an alert here for break above 215. I like this chart because it has plenty of room to high of day. And it looks once it breaks above 2.4 is sort of when it starts opening up a little more. Before that, you know, it has a lot of close resistances, but still valid. So we can set all these alerts. AGRI. Then we have MULN. This stock, it pops up on scanner frequently now. As you guys know, we used to trade it a lot in the past, and then for the past few months, it's just been very choppy. It trades, you know, not very big of a range, so I'm not too excited about it, especially since this morning we have a lot more interesting charts. So I probably won't trade this today. SAVE. Let me clear the drawings from the past. We traded this one on Friday. Now that it had some insane overnight moves, so definitely interesting. This one's a higher float than what we normally trade, but I feel like ever since COVID, it has had a lot of volatility. Remember, like the airline stocks were one of the stocks that were highly reactive to all the COVID news. So it would pop up on scanner frequently, and we have traded it. So because of that, we know that it can move, even though it's a higher float than what we normally trade, and it's within our price range. So I'm gonna send an alert here. Oh no, not 65 for break above 1975. That's probably a little riskier trade than break above 20. But I'll set that alert. So then, you know, it has a lot of close resistances. It's a higher floater, so that's how it operates. And this is the type of situation, you know, if you are someone that's just starting to trade real money or just starting to restrict your paper trades with the amount of money that you would have to trade, this is the decisions that I want you to start making in the morning when you go through the scanner. What you're going to put on the actual watch list, what you're going to be actually interested in trading, what you think your capital would be better off than not. So, for example, MULN, like I said, you know, I just won't bother with it. I want you to go through these and see which setups just make more sense to you. This is where your data is going to help do your journal. Which ones have you had better success with? Whether it's VWAP bounces, 5-minute breakouts, micro floats, etc. Put those on the watch list, focus on those, and ignore the rest. You're not going to be able to trade everything anyway, and you know, save your capital for things that you actually, you know, could make good money on because you're the most confident in those trades and you have the best stats with them. This is PHIO. This one did a fake EMA bounce earlier, which, you know, was a red trade for me. This one right here. So it tested it 3 times, which was already, you know, not a good scenario. And then 85 just caused a real wall, and then it started dropping down. So we can set an alert here for break above 85 because the stock is ways away from it now. So I'm assuming by the time it gets there, VWAP will be below it. Right now, if it broke above 85, we obviously wouldn't be taking that trade because VWAP is too close. It doesn't even have a cent between 85 and VWAP. And VWAP would serve as resistance, so we would wait for break above VWAP. But because it's this low, I assume by the time it ever gets back out there, VWAP will be below it, and then we can trade that. GOEV. Okay. Another chart I like because it's very far from high of day, so if it ever reverses, it has plenty of room to move, but it's ways away from reversing, right? It has these stairs stepping down. You know, I'm going to mark these lower levels of support for people that like to trade reversal trades. I wouldn't trade that. I would just trade a break above this VWAP. Maybe a reversal I would also trade as, what is the high of this candle? 355, and the low of this candle, 354 and 354. So that level is pretty key. Maybe I'll send an alert here for break above 355. and see where VWAP is at when it gets there, because as you see, VWAP's descending. So by the time it gets back up there, if VWAP's here on 3.6, uh, excuse me, the trade won't make a lot of sense because we don't have enough room to the first profit taking. Right now, between that and VWAP, there's a lot of room, so it would make sense to take it. But VWAP's descending, so we don't know where it's going to be at. So we can set the alert and look at it when it hits that. If VWAP's too close, we can wait for a break above VWAP. And then let's look at the last one with a lot of volume before we look at some of the trades from Friday. This one is CLXD. I love this one. The price point is just not my favorite. I don't trade stocks this cheap. So again, that's a great way to remove something from the watch list and not bother with it. If I were trading it, a break above VWAP here is the obvious trade. Now let's see what we have from Friday. We have VERU. Here's the high of 13.3. We can set an alert for break above 13.3, which is the high of day from this morning. It has decent volume, not too much yet, but it shows some movement. And then break above 3.4, which is the resistance from Friday after hours. And then, let's see, break above 365. I mean 13, so I keep saying 3. Break above 13.65. We traded this a lot on Friday, as you can see from all the lines, so I'm just going to remove all the lines. It's too much. So yeah, this one, I mean, shorts did start shorting it, but if you look at it, they didn't really, they entered here. Well, the really good ones enter like on the top on 15.5, but then break above 15. Obviously, most of them did. And then once it broke below this, what is this, 14 is where they really started attacking. So probably for us, for a squeeze this morning, nothing's really safe until it breaks above 14. Anything before, I mean, sure, there are shorts that entered lower. It's just, a question of how many there are and how massive the squeeze would be. So they're just, a little bit riskier trades. But we see, the reaction, right? Once it broke above this level that we marked 1285, it obviously squeezed. That's a big enough squeeze from 1285 to 13.3. That's a big range. So we'll have these lower potential squeeze levels as well. Then we have Coinbase. Traded this one a lot on Friday too. This one's a larger float, obviously, so we traded it because it had a lot of volatility, but it's not something that we normally trade. Okay, so we can, what is the highest candle here? 68, 65. Let's set an alert for break above the 69.5 because it's a very obvious level. And before that, we can set an alert for break above this morning's high of day, just, to be alerted when it breaks above it so we can see if the volume has started picking up, etc. And then the volume's too low. Now let's see here, where do we end? AKBA. This one is a dead cat bounce. Again, just a little too cheap for me, but if I were trading it, I would probably, what is here? I mean, also hard actually, because it's already squeezed once. If I were trading, I would send alert for break above 41 cents. CNN, the volume's a little too low, so I wouldn't spend too much time looking at it right now, but break above VWAP could potentially give the volume increase it needs. And if it does break above VWAP, it's a trade towards high of day. This one is freaking out quite a lot. It does not have a lot of volume, but it looks like it just dropped news, 10 minutes ago. So could pick up volume. Right now over here, there's no entry, but because it's hot, we can look at the 1 minute chart to look at a more immediate entry. And that would be a bounce on this 209, 02, or 208, or this EM820. or break above high of day. Again, this one has the volume's a little low, but I mean, you can see it's increasing as we're watching it because, the news drops, so people are interested in it, but it's going to be harder to get fills on this, and it has a little bit of a spread. Um, for that price range is significant, so it might, even though it just dropped news, it might not be really possible to trade it because of the low liquidity. But we'll see. And on these, there's too many of these. The volume's too low, so I don't want to waste my time looking at them. We have plenty that have enough volume. Let's focus on those, and then we'll see what happens as the day goes. Okay, you guys, I hope these streams are helpful. I will see you in the chat room.